Hi guys, well it's been 3 months since I've had a chance to get into the woods. For various reasons I've just not had an opportunity, so this is me finally getting back to going into the woods and having another try at sleeping in my new shelter, my crawling shelter. So I've got a few ideas, there's a couple of things I want to do. I've got 2 sort of full days. It's Wednesday night and I'm going to have sort of Thursday and Friday to try and do a bit of a modification to the crawling. I just want to make it a bit easier to get into, to be honest, because it's far too tight. And I've also got an idea for making the air movement inside, stopping it from getting too cold. I'm going to put some sort of curtains inside. It sounds a bit crazy, but you'll see what I mean once I get it done. The other thing I want to do is I've got a new frying pan. It's a steel one, and I need to season that before I can actually use it. So that's kind of the first thing I want to do tomorrow morning, is get that seasoned so I can have a decent fry up for my breakfast. Okay, well here we are once again, and everything's pretty much business as usual really. Lean-to is still looking alright considering it's like almost 2.5 years old. A few holes at the top there, could do with some extra leaves added. Might actually have a go at doing a wee bit of a repair there if I get the time. And the crawling's looking pretty good as well. Leaves are compacted a bit, but it's not too bad, and it doesn't look like it's been touched. Somebody's actually had a wee bit of a mess around with that drawbridge door that I made, so you can see it's a bit broken, but it was kind of makeshift anyway, and I plan to remake that anyway. The idea tomorrow is to actually rebuild the whole front end, which means pulling leaves off and having to put them back on, which isn't great, but yeah, just to make it a bit easier to get in and out, because when I had that brainwave with the drawbridge door, I suddenly realised that I could make the entrance as big as I like, as long as I've got something to pull in behind me like that and stop the air movement. So that's the idea for that one anyway. And then the other plan is, this is my new frying pan, brand new, so that needs to get seasoned, so I need to get that on the fire and get some oil on it so it becomes a bit non-stick. I realised that the little non-stick Teflon one that I've been using is really not recommended to use it on an open fire, because once that Teflon gets up to about 200 and something degrees, it does emit a lot of really toxic gases, so it's not exactly recommended. That's why I decided to get a steel one, and it was actually kind of too small for a lot of occasions as well, so this one's a little bit bigger, quite a lot bigger actually. So do a bit of experimentation with that tomorrow as well after we get it nicely seasoned. So 2 days, it's not a lot of time to do all the things I want to do, so I'm going to have to get cracking really. It's 8 o'clock, so I'm not going to get anything done tonight, that's for sure. The time I set up, I was going to sleep in the shelter, but I just remembered that the raised bed, a lot of these slats are actually broken or moved, and it really needs some more fir branches put on top to give a bit of padding, so I'm not going to sleep there. I'll probably set up my tarp across the other side there. It's a beautiful spot, it's dead flat. Yeah, so I'll probably do that and then just try and get a really good night's sleep and try and get up early and get cracking with this lot. So that's the plan. I'll say good night and catch up in the morning. Night night. So I've just spent the morning seasoning my pan, so I'm going to put that in another video, maybe after this one probably. So this afternoon the next task is to start rebuilding the front end of the crawling shelter, and that pretty much involves just pulling it all apart at the front to start with. What's in there, for those that haven't seen my other videos, is there's a loft area here which is the same height as the entrance pretty much. That's right down there, but I made the entrance kind of a bit too low. Well, it wasn't really too low, it was kind of more a case of I had this brainwave about using a drawbridge door that I could bring in behind me to shut off the entrance. And I realised that, you know, it didn't really matter so much the height of the entrance, because I could do that and it was shuttered off anyway, and I didn't really need to worry too much about making a cold air trap. So the idea is to kind of raise that a bit and make it just a little bit easier to get into, and create a new drawbridge door that's obviously needs to be a bit bigger. The other idea I had was to try and partition inside with some sort of material. I've got some foam there actually, which isn't quite bushcraft, but it's more of an experiment really, to see if it makes any difference having that barrier to stop the air moving around inside. So we'll try that as well. But first task is to rip this all apart, so I'll get cracking with that now. I'm not crazy about doing, to be honest, it's probably quite dry and brittle. I'm surprised how much dampness is in there. I thought this would all be bone dry in there. Right, so here's the structure of my loft. As you can see, it's basically just a whole load of sticks fixed at either end, and just allows me to have this area where I can completely fill it in with leaves, and it's therefore less air volume around the front end entrance, which obviously any amount of air volume in there needs to be heated up by my body heat as I'm in there, so reducing it's a good idea. So I'm going to pull this apart, and there's a cross member on the inside here. Take it off the tripod, it might be easier. Which is these ones here, if you can see that. So I need to try and manoeuvre that to a higher spot and lash it at both ends. So I finished off the front, I've rebuilt everything, raised the front entrance. I've just finished off my new drawbridge door, which I'm not exactly super happy with, but it's not too bad. It's certainly a little better than the last one I made. So, and that's still on the way. So it goes in like this. And it ends up a bit low on this side, which is annoying. I might be able to sort of put something underneath it to make it up to the right height. It's ideal so that gap should be totally closed in there. But it stops on airflow, so that's all that really matters. So, see how we get on later anyway. So this is the view from inside, and there's my lovely loft that I've just finished off. I've even trimmed all the ends. Oh, I didn't trim that one, that's strange. I thought I trimmed them all. Never mind. So, as I mentioned earlier, I had this wonderful brainwave as well to put a sort of bit of a barrier or curtain, I don't know why I call it that, but the entrance here. And this isn't particularly bushcraft, but I just want to try this, see if it makes any difference. So the idea is I've got this bit of foam and I just want to put it across the front here. This is really difficult. Yeah. So simply want to arrange it like that. I'm not going to actually tie it just now because there's no point. My monitor has decided to play up. I can't see anything. Right, goodness knows what that looks like on the camera. But that's the idea anyway. So well, we'll see what happens later anyway. Alright, now we'll try and get out. Futile. Try and put some more in. There's not a lot of padding in there at the moment, so try and get some more leaves in there. Other than that, it's all ready to go. So We're probably just going to have something to eat now and then climb in there later and try and sleep, see how they get on. The temperature's supposed to be quite high tonight, so it might not be too bad. Let's see how we get on anyway. Well guys, I'm in and I've got my curtain in place, so no air is going to get in here tonight. At the moment I'm absolutely roasting, but that was probably just the struggle getting here. And I had to take my big coat off again. I thought I might have got in with it on, but no, no chance. So I've got it in here with me. If I get cold, I'm gonna. The last time I was able to put it on, my big hunting jacket, while I was in here, so I'm not sure how I managed it, to be honest, but hopefully I can repeat that if necessary. And we'll just see how it goes. But to be honest, I'm not going to be. I'm not really up for any heroics tonight. If it gets cold, I'm out of here. If I can't keep warm, then forget it. It's all experimental. I'm hoping that this curtain will make a difference, but not sure. We'll wait and see. So it's 10 degrees outside, so it's pretty warm, really. We'll see how it goes. And I've got the thermometer in here as well, so it's quite interesting to see just what sort of temperature we have in here after a wee while. And obviously I'll update you in the morning. Okay, night night. Well guys, another failure I'm afraid. I only managed to stay in the shelter for 2 hours. So I went in there at 10 and I slept. I actually did sleep for 2 hours, and then I woke up and it was cold. It wasn't freezing, but it was cold. I looked at the thermometer and it was saying like 11 degrees, which is really not very warm for sleeping in your clothes. So I just abandoned at that stage. So I mean, my conclusion really is that, you know, obviously that curtain arrangement didn't make any difference at all. So really, it's just not. The leaves aren't providing enough insulation really to keep my body heat inside the shelter. So really, it just comes down to the fact that the leaves are just not up to the quality. They're not dry, and there's not enough of them, I think, really. So I don't know. I'll have another go sleeping in it maybe when it's like middle of summer and it's really, really warm anyway. See if I can manage to have a comfortable night in there. It would be quite nice to be able to say I've at least done that. But I don't suppose I'm going to really do much more with it other than that, to be honest. So I kind of slept in. It's about 8 o'clock almost. I'm going to get up now and try and see how my new newly seasoned pan handles frying eggs. It should be pretty interesting. So I've been quite busy this afternoon. After messing around with bow drill, I decided I would just bite the bullet and go and get some new slats for the bed. So I filled in all the gaps. Don't know how I managed to have so many gaps, to be honest, but I filled in the gaps. I've got some nice new ones. I've lashed some of them down, but I mean, in an ideal world you would lash them all and it would be solid as anything, but that would just take forever and use up tons of cordage. And it's quite tricky to do actually as well, to get it really tight. Even some of the ones I've tied, they're still sort of moving around a bit. So that's all ready, and I've been and collected some red cedar branches. Well, I cut some branches and then I reduced the smaller triglets. And this stuff's great. It never changes its shape or its structure at all. Like pine branches do, all the needles fall off the pine branches eventually. These things, I've seen these like after a couple of years. In fact, I pulled some out of there a minute ago, and it's obviously something about it. It just holds its shape. So it's actually a much nicer thing to use than pine branches for bedding. I've not really got enough though. That pile will soon disappear. It won't be very thick really. So. Maybe the next time I come I'll have a proper go at that and get a decent big massive load and get a nice big thick bed and cushioning. That'd be good. But yeah, I'm just going to throw them on. Probably going to sleep in here tonight actually, because once I've done that there's no excuses. It'll be quite nice actually to sleep in here and wake up in the morning under the shelter. It's always a nice feeling waking up underneath the shelter. So that's the plan. I'm just going to get myself busy putting these on, and after that I'm going to start making my dinner. It's quite late now. It's actually, oh crikey, it's 7:30, so I really need to get a move on. Spread these out and then get a fire lit, just let it go out. So guys, it's oh crikey, it's 10 to 9. Not much light around. So I'm just brewing up some water, have a cup of tea, then I'm going to bring all my stuff over and I'm going to set up and sleep under the shelter tonight. So hopefully it doesn't rain too much. Don't mind a little bit. Hopefully the resident owls don't appear and keep me awake all night. But yeah, I'll catch up with you in the morning. Good night.
Morning guys, but this is the view from lying in the shelter. Pretty awesome bit of sky, and what was really awesome last night while I was sleeping, I just happened to look up and I'm looking at the stars. The next thing, this massive shooting star was arced right across the sky there. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. It was quite an interesting night actually, because later on I was woken up by a deer galloping full speed. I don't know, I don't know if it actually came through the camp, but it must have galloped right past me here. Crazy animal. I don't know, I was expecting to hear flipping a fox or something chasing it, but no, don't know. Weirdness. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't a bad night. As I said, it was really nice to sleep under the stars. Had quite a good sleep really. I'm going to go up now. It's what time is it? It's 7:30, I think. Alright, it's 7:45 now. So just going to get up, fire going, get my breakfast, and then decamp basically, and then head home. So I'm absolutely starving, so I'm going to get up and get some food.
Right guys, well that's the end of another adventure. Short and sweet, but it's been really nice actually. 3 nights, 2 full days, and brilliant, fantastic weather really for the time of year. It's like perfect temperatures as far as I'm concerned, just about 11 and 12 during the day. Quite sunny. And I had a nice sleep there in my shelter last night, so that was really nice. It's always a bonus to be able to just sleep under the stars, and especially seeing that shooting star last night, that was amazing. So yeah, time to go home and hopefully get out soon. See you later.